Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We thank you, Brother Kushtrim, for answering our invitation for this interview. Welcome here.
Thank you.
In the beginning, I would like to ask you about your origins. Where are you from and how are you raised and so on?
So, first of all, my name is Kushtrim Berisha. I'm from Kosovo, born and raised here. I finished all of my education here in Kosovo. There's not much to say, honestly. I was brought up like any other youth in Kosovo. Went to public schools, So, yeah, pretty normal life, pretty simple life. I come from an average class family and so on. So, yeah, that's pretty much.
Okay. So you are a religious person. What was the first step that you began to become religious?
So you could say I am religious, outwardly at least. It's not like I had a U-turn where I suddenly became religious. It was like a process. In my family, my family was not very religious, but they always had the awareness, they were aware that they are Muslims. So we had some very short Islamic books here and there in the house. Sometimes I would read some du'as, some prayers in our original language, obviously, in Albanian. And, my awareness of my religion kept growing. So when I went to high school, I started, alongside the other stuff that I was doing as any other teenager in high school, I started become more interested in my religion. I would read more. I would watch some religious lectures or TV shows in our local TVs that we had back then. What else? Ramadan was a big turning point for me. So in Ramadan, we would go to the masjid, to the mosque with some of our friends. We would pray Taraweeh and then probably would, attend some lectures here and there. And then after Ramadan, we'd go back to not praying again, unfortunately. And then after a while, I started praying Jum'ah regularly. So it was like a very gradual process. My last year in high school, I think that's when I started praying regularly. And from there, I'm still growing religiously, honestly.
We all are.
Yep.
So nice to hear that. So you are an English teacher, right?
Yeah, exactly. I have a master's in English linguistics. Yeah.
Very nice. Did you teach English in the schools in Kosovo or abroad?
So I did my internship at a public school in my country, and then after that, I went on to teaching English in Saudi Arabia, so officially known as the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I taught English at a private school there for 2 years. Then I came back to Kosovo. I taught English at another private school in Kosovo for 3 years. I taught private classes, again in Kosovo, online, mostly, for a year. And then I went to Kuwait for another year. So that's pretty much, in total, I think I did approximately 7 years of teaching English. So I have some experience teaching English in my country as well as abroad.
So you were in many Muslim countries, even Kosovo is a Muslim country, Saudi Arabia, the birthplace of Islam, and Kuwait. Do you think that media is oversizing the relation between Islam and terrorism? Do you think that this is, did you see terrorism in these places? Are Muslims in general terrorists?
So, first of all, I do believe that the media is exaggerating that, and it's very interesting when you mention that, a lot of people have that relation in mind. They connect terrorism to Muslims or Islamic countries. As a matter of fact, I saw a lot of non-Muslims working in Saudi Arabia as well as Kuwait, and they're happy to be there. They love the hospitality. They're just enjoying their life there. They're okay with that life. Americans, a lot of Americans, non-Muslim Americans, I'm not talking about religious Muslims who come from America and from countries like the UK or Canada. You also have non-Muslims who just like being in that country. So that's one thing. What else could I mention here? No, there's no connection. There's no connection at all. Like when you live with, for example, when you live with the Saudis, you see that there's no connection at all between, like, they're so advanced, they're so open-minded. I mean, a lot of them, not saying all of them, but yeah, they're pretty advanced, they're very open-minded, they're aware of what's going on in the world. They're technologically very developed. Like, I remember, for example, one thing that they have in Saudi Arabia as well as Kuwait is that they have this, what do you call it, like a digital ID that you have on your phone, and you don't need to carry any ID with you. You don't need to carry your personal ID, you don't need to carry your driving license, nothing. Everything is there on this app. We don't have that in Kosovo, so, you know, it's, no, not at all. I mean, there could be groups, there could be, like, what do you call it, like, extreme groups that are connected to terrorism, but nobody is like okay with these people. Nobody supports them in any Muslim country. It's not like there is a Muslim country that supports these people, but you have extremists on all sides. But we know that, you know, there's no connection. It's not like the mentality or the mindset of the Saudis or Arabs from the Gulf countries or any other Arabs is the type of mindset that supports terrorism or anything like that. In fact, as a matter of fact, in Saudi Arabia, if you have such views, you may even be jailed. It's very likely that you'll be jailed if you have such views.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what the brother just said is completely true. The Islam is not related to terrorism. And we are the first one who condemn the terrorism. Because some people say that you Muslims don't condemn terrorism. This is not true. We condemn it more than everybody else, religiously, because Prophet ﷺ has taught us like this. But the media don't show this in television, so you must be aware. The media does show only one dimension, only one small part of the world picture. You must not believe all what media says. Islam is pure. It's not related to terrorism. If you read this ayah of Quran, Allah says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. And we have not sent you except as mercy for the all mankind. So Islam is mercy in all of his dimensions. If in Islam is something that you might you might think that is how to say violent, yes, that might be some kind of violence, but that kind of violence is for the authorities, for the government, and not for the individuals. So the problem some people make this kind of things is because they think they are governments or authorities and make such things that's not appropriate only for governments. And we all agree that government is allowed to make violence, for example, to the terrorist or every threat, yeah?
Against criminals, for
against
example.
Criminals or
you find this everywhere in the world.
Yeah, every threat there is for the all well-being of the society. So this is something that we must understand about this. We thank you for these words.
You're welcome.
Do you
My
have
pleasure.
a message for the end?
My message is, you know, I've seen a lot of non-Muslims who later on became Muslims. They had a lot of prejudice about Islam. Maybe they were judgmental because of what they were fed by the media. So they said, you know what, I want to read the Quran and see what this book says about us, about killing us and, you know, harming us and all that. So they ended up reading the entire Quran, and as a result they became Muslims. So as they say in English, don't take my word for it, you know. Just open the Quran, read it yourself in English, in Albanian, in whatever language you can read and understand, and you'll see that when you as you said, you know, when you have the bigger picture, you may have like some ayahs here and there that taken out of context they may sound violent, but when you read the entire Quran and you have the bigger picture, then you will see that, you know, terrorism has nothing to do with our religion. or harming innocent people or anything like that. It has nothing to do with our religion. So the best thing you can do is just read the entire Quran, and I suggest that even to Muslims, because there's a lot of Muslims who don't have enough knowledge about the Quran. Read the Quran, read the sayings of the Prophet ﷺ, and then you'll see that it's not what it sounds like. It's not what it looks like on the media.
We thank you very much about this words.
You're welcome.
May
It was my
Allah
pleasure.
reward you.
Thank
Jazakallah
you.
khair.
Likewise.